What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about a famous Norwegian named Gunnar Sønsteby. And it says here that he was a member of the Norwegian resistance movement in World War II. So, to be honest, like most Americans, I really don't know that much about Norwegian history, but apparently there's a lot of books and movies made about this guy. So, obviously, he must be pretty important. So today, I really want to take a look at this video and learn more about Gunnar Sønsteby and what exactly he did. So let's take a look.
When Nazi Germany invaded Norway on April the 9th, 1940, it took the nation by surprise.
Yeah.
Norway's strategic ports and vast coastline made it an invaluable prize. The government, caught off guard, capitulated within a mere 2 months. But surrender did not mean silence. As the Nazis took control, some Norwegians took action.
That is so, it's not cool, to say the least, that Norway was, invaded and occupied by Nazis during World War II. But Norway's response, to that, with the resistance movements and the resistance fighters and everyday normal people in Norway, getting up, rising up, and fighting back in the ways that they could. That is amazing. That is a true testament to, the amazing resolve and bravery, honestly, of, Norwegian people. That's amazing.
Nazi propaganda was torn down. Refugees were sheltered, and intelligence was being circulated. It was the resistance, and it continued to grow into an organized movement. However, the risks were enormous. The Gestapo, Hitler's secret police, were brutal in suppressing.
Yeah, Nazis are known for being, scary, ruthless, heartless, killers, tortured people. In World War II, I can't even imagine, Norwegians having the bravery to know what would happen to them if they fought back, and you still fought back. That is amazing.
Dissent. Arrests, torture, and executions were common. For many, the price of resistance was too much to bear. This was the world Gunnar Sønsteby entered. At just 22 years old, he watched his homeland fall under Nazi control.
Wow.
But instead of despair, he joined the fledgling resistance and quickly became an absolute nightmare for the Gestapo.
Really? That's what he did? Well, he must have done some really crazy stuff to be, famous among... He's famous among, the Norwegian resistance fighters, I guess, right? Because, his name, he has his own videos about him. Gunnar Sønsteby, only, 22. Honestly, kind of the perfect age. That's a weird way of saying it, but horrible that he was 22 and this happened, in Norway. But he happened to be, the perfect age to, join the resistance as a young man and probably highly motivated and capable of doing stuff.
He had ingenuity and resolve, but one skill in particular would make him a hero of the resistance.
Really? One skill made him famous among the resistance. What would that be?
One of the most dangerous tasks for resistance fighters was getting past Nazi checkpoints. Sønsteby proved highly skilled at forging identity documents. Sønsteby was so good at forgery that he could even
What?
replicate the signature of Nazi police chief Karl Martensen.
Whoa. This guy is cool. That's like secret agent stuff. His specialty was forging documents. I never even thought, it's kind of a luxury. Like, I've never had to even think about stuff like that. But in like World War II, Nazi occupied Norway, if you want to get past German soldiers and checkpoints, that's, for one thing, incredibly brave. But then the logistics of actually doing it, like you need fake IDs and stuff. And that's what he would do, and do it the best. That's really cool.
Not only did Sønsteby craft false papers for resistance fighters, but also for Jews fleeing the Holocaust,
Wow.
and anyone who needed to slip through Nazi checkpoints. This
I don't know why, but I just assumed, like, okay, World War II resistance soldier. He's going to be like this big, strong, like, shooting down Nazis like James Bond or something. No! Like, this is the reality, that some of the most useful skills were stuff like this. Like the technical, covert resistance warfare, forging documents, and he used his skill to help like Jews escape persecution and people escape, and that is amazing. That is so much cooler than some crazy like war crazy guy with a gun like running around. I mean, that's cool too, but this is not what I was expecting.
single contribution would save countless lives. But it wasn't enough for Sønsteby. He soon joined Milorg, Norway's underground military organization.
Oh, wow.
Milorg was determined to sabotage the Nazis, gathering intelligence for the Allies and preparing for a possible Allied invasion. Sønsteby hid in plain sight, and his ever-present bicycle was part of a costume of the mundane. His code name, number 24, in many ways reflected his talents for disguise.
You know what? Maybe he is like James Bond. Like, this is kind of secret agent stuff. The bicycle, the facade, it's all a costume. That he's just some normal guy on a bike. This is amazing. Like, that this is a true story.
A factory worker one day, an accountant the next. His ability to adapt was legendary. But multiple personas was not enough to evade the Nazis. To avoid capture and stay ahead of the Gestapo, Sønsteby's survival depended on constant movement.
Sure.
He secured over 20 locations to spend the night, never staying in any location for more than a couple of days. Sønsteby...
I mean, just try to put yourself in his shoes. Like, waking up 10 times every night, always worried, always changing where you live, never staying in one place. What a difficult life. And it is one that he volunteered for, to fight for what was right. And this guy's amazing. Like, all right, this is amazing.
Sønsteby rotated through them all every couple of months. Some were flats, others hidden rooms. One such room was above a bakery. Sønsteby explained, "When I came to the baker's shop, I always looked at the girl selling bread. If she gave me a special face, I knew the Germans were there, and I would turn around."
I mean, this is great. Like, this is what it was like. Like, it's been very fortunate that we've had a long period where there's been no war. Like, the United States, really. Not certainly no war on our homeland or anything like that. Like, we have no idea what this is like. Like, America has never been occupied. You know, it's barely been attacked. Sure, like, 9/11 and Pearl Harbor were horrible, but Norway was occupied by Nazis. And this was the reality. And it's tough for Americans like me to even wrap my head around, like having to make code special faces to avoid Germans, or you would literally die. You would just die if you're caught. That was what it was like.
This vigilance may have allowed Sønsteby to remain uncaptured, but it was his nerves of steel and acts of sabotage that would drive this mild-mannered Norwegian to the top of the Gestapo's most wanted list.
Oh my god. The Gestapo's most wanted. It's kind of a cool title. Terrifying, but like anybody who gives the Gestapo and Nazis a hard time is pretty good in my book.
Sønsteby's missions were as daring as they were brilliant.
Okay.
One of his most impactful operations targeted Oslo's Central Railway. German forces relied on it for transporting troops and supplies. Sønsteby coordinated a team to plant explosives on the tracks. It had to be perfectly timed to avoid harming civilians. The explosion sent German logistics into chaos. He was also instrumental.
What? This is amazing. No wonder there's movies about this guy. This is amazing. He literally did secret missions like this. And he's not a soldier. He's not a secret agent. He's just a guy who got off his butt and wanted to change, the fate of Norway. Amazing. So helped plan this sabotage of the Oslo Railway to give a middle finger to the Germans. This is amazing that he actually did this stuff.
Also instrumental in the Norsk hydro sabotage, where Norwegian resistance fighters crippled Germany's access to heavy water, a critical component in their nuclear weapons program.
I actually did a video a while ago where I learned a bit about this. So I have heard of this hydro plant mission thing.
Sønsteby ensured the operation succeeded without significant harm to factory workers.
Wow.
But Sønsteby wasn't all explosives and raids.
You know he was like a good guy, not just because he was putting his life on the line for Norway, but how much he went out of the way to try to protect innocent people. It's already dangerous enough running in and blowing things up and saving yourself and not getting caught. Trying to also make sure that you don't hurt anybody who's innocent. On top of all that, this guy's unbelievable to me. Like, I know I keep saying that, but that's the only word I can think of. Unbelievable. Inspiring. I guess I should believe it because this is a true story.
His subtle tactics were just as audacious. In one mission, he and his team infiltrated a Nazi storage depot and walked out with hundreds of German uniforms. These disguises became essential for covert missions, allowing resistance fighters to move undetected.
The nature of what he did is also so amazing. He wasn't like staying underground, hidden, safe, doing like intel or communications. That's very important. But he was the guy dressing up like a Nazi, like running into the railway, blowing it up, like secretly, and forging documents. He was out there. He was doing it. Yeah.
However, the war did take its toll. His father was arrested by the Gestapo in February 1943 as a hostage and held for nearly 2 years. Sønsteby carried this weight, but never wavered in his mission.
So they knew about him. The Germans, they wanted Gunnar Sønsteby. And they even kidnapped his dad to try to get him. That is horrible.
By 1944, Sønsteby was the Gestapo's most wanted man in Norway. Posters with his description, aliases, and codename, number 24, were everywhere.
What?
On one occasion, a German officer suspected Sønsteby was, in fact, number 24 and arrested him. Sønsteby's response? Complete calm. He simply struck up a casual conversation and acted so convincingly ordinary that the officer let him go.
This guy is different. If he was alive today, he would have been like in the Norwegian Special Forces or something, right? Or this guy is special. There might even be something wrong with him to remain that calm in the face of death, torture and death. That's not normal. This guy was extraordinary.
it was a close call. During the final months of the war, Sønsteby 24 would carry a hand grenade at all times, not for sabotage, but to sacrifice himself if captured, and to avoid revealing any secrets under torture.
That's what I was talking about with, like, this is the reality of war, the reality of being part of a resistance, being ready to die. I cannot imagine.
I was so cold, Sønsteby later said, reflecting on his extraordinary psychological resilience. Cold indeed. He trusted no one outside his small circle of operatives.
Sure.
Each safe house was temporary, and every mission was planned with meticulous detail.
Yeah.
His cold-blooded calm and keen awareness gave him a much-needed edge. Whether slipping past checkpoints, using forged documents, or spotting danger from a subtle gesture, Sønsteby avoided capture time and time again.
So he did this for years. He was a thorn in Germany's side. Unbelievable. And the whole time, not knowing if he could die any day or... Jeez.
But it wasn't just his survival that mattered. It was his defiance. Sønsteby proved that even under relentless pursuit, the resistance could succeed.
Jeez.
Sønsteby wasn't just a resistance hero. He embodied the spirit of a nation refusing to yield.
Yeah.
After the war, Sønsteby's bravery was recognized with numerous honors, including...
So he survived the war? Unbelievable. This guy is like... This is one of the most inspiring military stories I've ever heard. Ever. I don't even know who compares to this. This is so unique and crazy. And he survived the whole thing. That is unbelievable. Thank goodness. What a life. He went through all that and then got through the war and made it out and his story was told and he was recognized, and now some random American guy is learning about it on YouTube. What is this?
Norway's highest military decoration, the War Cross with 3 swords. Yet, he remained humble. Reflecting on that time, he stated simply, "I was just doing my duty." Gunnar Sønsteby's story...
That's how you know he was that guy. That's how you know. The real ones. Like, he didn't want all the awards or the recognition. He literally is like, I was just doing my duty. And there's no way he could have done everything he did without that kind of, like, incredible mentality and purpose and discipline and resolve, and oh my God.
Story teaches us that standing up for what's right isn't about being fearless. It's about acting despite fear. Sønsteby's acts of courage remind us that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they believe in a cause greater than themselves.
I don't know. He might have been he may have been the one human who is fearless. 'Cause that's amazing what he did. This story was incredible. I can't believe there was a human being who did all that. No wonder he's famous in Norway. We don't have any stories like this in the United States, like heroes like this. This is amazing. This was really, really cool to learn about. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on Gunnar Sønsteby. If you've heard of him, if you know of him, that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning about Norwegian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.